The first time Emily Carson noticed something unusual about herself, she was just 9 years old. She was walking home from school in rural Oregon, her backpack slung over one shoulder, when a group of neighborhood kids started teasing a younger boy near the sidewalk. As they jeered and mocked, Emily instinctively stepped between them, not entirely sure why. She didn't yell, she didn't shove, she just looked at them. And within seconds, they all backed away without another word. The boy looked up at her with a sense of awe and whispered, "You're like a superhero or something." She hadn't understood it then, but something deep inside her stirred. There was something different about her presence, something unseen yet deeply felt. As the years passed, Emily would come to understand what that feeling was. It was her aura, and it was powerful. By the time Emily was in her 20s, she had moved to Austin, Texas, and worked as a creative consultant for a wellness brand. People often commented on her energy, even before she said a word. Strangers told her she had a calming effect. Some said she seemed to glow even without makeup. One man at a networking event confessed, "I don't know why, but I just feel like I can trust you." It's weird. It wasn't weird. It was her aura. Emily didn't read much into it at first. She assumed people were just being kind. But as she matured emotionally and spiritually, she began studying energy work, spiritual psychology, and vibrational frequencies. What she discovered astonished her. There are people who radiate something more, something unseen but deeply real. Not because they're better than others, but because they've tapped into a level of inner alignment, emotional strength, and spiritual clarity that causes them to stand out, whether they mean to or not. And there were signs. Emily recognized that her life mirrored many of these signs. It wasn't about ego or superiority. In fact, the more she embraced her powerful aura, the more humble she became. She realized she wasn't like everyone else, and that was okay. Her aura wasn't meant to make others feel small. It was meant to light the way. Years later, while leading a retreat in Sedona, Arizona, Emily met others like her. People whose presence changed the room. People whose energy lingered long after they left. And the conversations they had helped her fully understand what those 4 signs were. 4 indicators that someone's aura is not only powerful, but also deeply transformative. The first sign showed up in moments of silence. When Emily was around people, especially those who were anxious or emotionally chaotic, she noticed something peculiar. People calmed down just by sitting near her. She didn't need to speak, she didn't need to advise. Her energy, grounded and secure, acted like an anchor. People described it as soothing, safe, or centering. It was a frequency thing, she realized. Like tuning into the right station. Her aura offered peace when others were surrounded by noise. This wasn't something she tried to do. It just was. And the funny thing was, she also noticed how animals and children were drawn to her in the same way. At the retreat in Sedona, a woman named Jenna, a trauma therapist, told her, "You have this grounded frequency that makes people feel seen. It's like your aura holds space for them to breathe." Emily nodded. "I used to think that was a coincidence. But now I see, it's intentional." The second sign came from resistance. Not the resistance Emily gave, but the resistance she received. Throughout her 20s and 30s, she realized something strange. Certain people either instantly loved her or couldn't stand her. There was rarely an in-between. First, she blamed herself. Maybe she was too sensitive. Maybe she gave off the wrong impression. But as time passed, she saw the pattern. When someone's aura is powerful, it becomes a mirror. It reflects people back to themselves. Those who were ready to evolve or seek truth felt inspired by her. But others, those still caught in patterns of denial or insecurity, felt threatened. Not because Emily did anything wrong, but because her energy exposed what they weren't ready to face. She recalled one corporate client who said, "I like your ideas, but something about you makes me uncomfortable." Emily hadn't said a word outside the normal scope of business. And yet, the client was uneasy, not because of what she did, but because of what she represented. Growth, change, truth. Her aura amplified things. For the right people, that was a blessing. For others, it was unbearable. That was when Emily stopped apologizing for being too much. The third sign was synchronicity. The more she honored her inner truth, the more aligned her path became. Things showed up exactly when she needed them. Opportunities knocked without her chasing them. She would think of someone and they would call. She'd pray for clarity and the answer would arrive in a song, a book, or a stranger's passing comment. Her friend Lucas, a retired firefighter turned life coach, once told her, "When your aura is powerful, you become like a magnet to purpose." Emily laughed at first but soon realized he was right. She wasn't lucky. She was aligned. Her vibration pulled in people and events that matched her inner frequency. Life felt like a dance with the divine, sometimes challenging, often mysterious, but always guided. She remembered a time when she had been struggling financially. Instead of panicking, she took a week off to reset her energy. She meditated, journaled, hiked, and visualized herself walking in abundance. Just days later, she got a call from a wellness company offering her a long-term brand consulting role, with double the pay she'd been making. Some called it coincidence. Emily knew better. And then came the fourth sign, the deepest one. When your aura is powerful, you become a catalyst. Your presence alone begins to awaken others. You don't have to try. Just being yourself causes people to rethink their lives, heal their wounds, and seek higher truth. Emily saw this over and over. Friends who were struggling with toxic relationships found the courage to leave. Clients who were stuck in self-doubt began pursuing their dreams. Even her Uber drivers confessed life stories they had never told anyone, then thanked her for somehow helping them find peace. It wasn't magic, it was alignment. A powerful aura isn't loud. It isn't boastful. It's quiet and radiant. It's born from deep healing, emotional responsibility, and spiritual openness. It doesn't seek to overpower. It simply shines, and that light transforms everything around it. Now in her early 40s, Emily mentors young spiritual leaders. She teaches them that a powerful aura isn't something you chase. It's something you build day by day, choice by choice. It's the result of inner work, of choosing peace when it's easier to choose anger, of seeking truth when lies are more convenient, of showing love when the world feels cold. One evening, during a full moon circle in the mountains of Colorado, a young woman named Ava turned to Emily and asked, "How do you know if your aura is powerful?" Emily smiled, the firelight flickering in her eyes. "You don't need to look in a mirror," she said. "The world reflects it back to you. When people feel better around you, when truth follows you, when opportunities find you, and when others awaken because of your presence, your aura is doing its work. And that's when you'll know." As the night sky sparkled above them, the group sat in reverent silence. Emily's words weren't